Hello, this is G-Man. I'm out here in Flushing, New York today, waiting to get unloaded. Um, I'll pull up along this driveway, and guy come out in the lift and begin to pull aluminum off the deck. But I've been here about 2.5 hours, and I was watching some videos. Watched one by Blaine, a very good video on uh, the first 7 years of a child's life and how that affects a child. Also, I watched another video by Robert Kiyosaki, and that was interesting. And Robert Kiyosaki is the father of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you ever read that book about money, uh, and it deals with, well, just look it up. Look up Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's very good. But what I wanted to talk about after watching Toe Jam's video is one of the things he mentioned, truck courtesies and some of the things that need to be done in the truck is CB radio. So I'm going to do a brief video on CB radio, and I think it's a necessity for a truck driver to have it. You may not be on it all the time, you may not use it all the time, but it's important to have one that's functional, that you can turn on. Also, it's a good way to communicate. That's a lost art out here on the road. A lot of guys are angry. They get on it. They use it for various reasons. But I mean, just to keep you company or to communicate some very important information. And that's one of the things that Solvent Roads is all about, is getting information to people that need it the most. So there's a view of my radio. It's and this one is, I don't know if you can see that, but it's a RCI 2570. I have this radio. I've been in the radio since the 70s. I'm about to get my ham license, and this radio here is ham capable. I can go up above and uh, does a lot of things. It goes above 40, channel 40, and down below 1. So it gives me the capacity, the capabilities of going on extra channels. Uh, you can see there that's a regular CB readout. And I can go through the channels. There's one, and your regular channels, 19. Or I can switch this over to a freak counter, and that's the frequency readout for channel 19, 27,185. And I can go through the bands like this. That's 27, and this is 38 sideband. Of course, I had already had it on sideband. I was on there earlier. But that's AM there. But 38 is 38, 39, 40 traditionally are sideband channels from way back. And I can even take it above 40, 41. And when skip conditions in, you will hear people from all over the country in here. But getting back to trucking, we can get back to 19. You may hear some crazy stuff here on 19 here. Good communication. Everyone doesn't need a radio like this. In radio, good radio will do. One of the things you want to make sure of once you get your radio in attached, get some decent coax, which I have here. Coax, and that's a little better than average coax. One that helps with transmit and receive. Good coax has a good ground in it, which isolates noise, wiper noise. Most of our trucks, you'll still get that. Some of that has to do, it does come through the coax, it may come through the antenna. A lot of times it comes through the power line. And here's my power line. Let me get up here to show you. And if you can see that, I have a quick disconnect. I just pull this apart and I can switch out my radio. I have two other radios in here too as for backup. And so and there's the fuse there. You always want to have a good fuse, and always have the proper fuse in the fuse holder. So you blow a fuse and you go ahead and get a just grab any fuse in there. You could do damage to the radio if you do not have the proper fuse. So be aware of that. If for any reason the fuse go out, you go to change it, replace it with the proper fuse that was in there or should be in there, and they will change due to the radio. Uh, Outside here, there's my little antenna setup, and being this is a Freightliner, that bracket was designed for the Freightliner with a little bar out there, and then you can just put your standard um, antenna mount on there. And again, I would suggest getting a decent mount. I have an extension on the antenna, and that's that pole that you're looking at now that goes right up to the antenna. And the antenna that I'm running is a Wilson 2000, and the SWR has been adjusted. Now I had go to a place out on Interstate 80, and I didn't think about it till after the fact. I could have mentioned that to Toe Jam, but it's at the 70-mile marker on Interstate 80 in Pennsylvania. It's Bob CB. I've been in the CB radio since the 70s. I mentioned that earlier. And so I've seen a lot of radio shops, guys who work on radios. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of hacks out there. Guys are out there, all they know how to do is put noise toys in your radio and turn your radio up, clip this, clip that. But the good technicians, they're hard to find. They're not out there like they used to be. Bob CB is a good technician. People send their radios to him from all over the country. So his business is not just truck drivers or locals, but I mean, he gets the radios, he tunes them, sets them up. Uh, he'll do you right. Now, you may have to pay for it. You may pay a little extras. You're not going to get any discounts. But when you leave there, your radio will be working right. This is where you set your SWR, for those you don't know. That little stinger on top, they measure that, cut it, do whatever is necessary, set it back in there, adjust it, and adjust the SWR. SWR is standing wave ratio between the antenna and the radio. And that's what helps you to talk distance and make sure radio work at its peak. A lot of times with these Freightliners, these new trucks with all this plastic, and the location of the antenna, it's hard to get a good SWR reading. But you want someone to give you one, give you the best SWR that's possible. So if you have any questions, you watch this video, you're getting anything out of that, you got any questions, leave your comments or questions down below, and I'll try to get back to you. And again, it's not about how much you spend. You want some quality. You want to spend enough money so you get quality equipment, accessories for your radio. But this radio here, probably back in the day, or even right now, I forget what these run. They still make them. I don't know if it's like 250, and that's a lot of money. But for me, as a hobby, this radio you're looking at is probably at least 15 years old. I had it back when I was driving with Falcon back in 2004, and so it's a good radio. It serves me well. I do not run any extra power. I could run some, but I choose not to. Really, like I said, I can talk all over the country. And if I hear South America, if I hear the Caribbean in there, Jamaica, I can talk back to them with this radio. It has enough power in it, and it performs well for me to do everything that I need done. So, with that, again, if you enjoy this video, leave your comments. Let me know what you think, and I'll get back to you soon as possible. I may add on to this video, have something else to share with you later on. Ciao for now.